acquiring the virus. I think a good way of doing it is to imagine that you do have the virus, yeah, and change your behaviour so that you're not transmitting it. Don't think about changing your behaviour so you won't get it. Think about changing your behaviour so you don't give it to somebody else.
Well, thank you there once again, Professor Medley, for that sage advice here on the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI, the quarantine edition. Oh, good evening, everybody. You are indeed listening to the Taxi Stand Hour for this Tuesday, September 15th of 2020. This is indeed the show that's known as Temper Tantrum Tuesday. So from the Northern Command Studio in Eagan, Minnesota, I'm John Shannon. And from the palatial Radio TFI Executive Tower in Queens, New York, it is Mr. Ed Van Ness. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, kids and kittens. Trust you all had a wonderful day today. Big fat welcome to those of you watching us on YouTube. We'll see how long we last here.
We've made the big time.
We turned on the switch anyway, whether or not we made the big time. And just to get things started off on a roll, John, you're going to have to reboot. Your audio is scratching and dropping out all over the place. You're going to have to come back into the studio.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to continue on from here. Yeah, welcome aboard. Temper Tantrum Tuesday. Let me fix that. There we go. Temper Tantrum Tuesday here on the Taxi Stand Hour on the quarantine edition. I'm going to get things started off. John's having a little audio problem. He's going to rehook back up, and everything will be just peachy fine before you know it, kids and kittens. So tonight's tonight. If you got something to say, you want to vent, we want to hear it. 754-800-CHAT, 754-800-2428 at Taxi Stand Hour on the Twitter. If you'd like to get a hold of us that way. We see we have reconnected with young Mr. Shannon.
Well, the audio doesn't sound a whole hell of a lot better, but
it does not. We're going to power through.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I look at it too. We'll get through it one way or another. We will.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've actually gone through worse than this.
Yes, we have. Absolutely. So, like I mentioned before, this is indeed Temper Tantrum Tuesday on the quarantine edition of the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI. What'd you say, Ed?
I just explained it all to them.
Oh, you did? Well,
I did.
I just explained it again. So,
all right.
There is no excuse for them not to know.
I got stuff. I am fired up.
Well, good.
I am fired up. So, and by the way, and I will land the plane when I'm ready to land the plane tonight, as somebody was quick to say last Tuesday. Land the plane already.
Well, you know damn well she'll be listening. She'll be commenting.
We'll see.
We bet your bottom dollar.
So anyway,
there is also there is an outside, probably like a 5% chance we may be hearing from the lovely and talented Christine Hubbard tonight.
Oh,
I invited her actually not to talk about the taxi industry, but I got I'm getting tired, to be honest with you, of everybody who is damning the Canadian healthcare system. In particular, Mr. Rod Johnson. And look, I'm no expert on it. When I'm not an expert on something, I defer to people who are experts. And who better than someone who's actually living in Canada,
an
actual Canadian, someone who is receiving the Canadian, the health care from Canada, not only for her, but also for her family.
That's right. So we'll have our Canadian on. We want to say a big hello down under to our Australian.
We just got them all over the place. Plus, we got people. What's
Check the
that?
comments. Check the comments.
The comments on.
StreamYard.
I don't have anything right now.
Just open it anyway.
I do have it open.
Okay. You see nothing.
Did Athen say something? Is that the deal?
He sure did.
Well, hi, Athen. I can't see what you said, but then again, I kind of had to back out here for a little bit.
Oh, you came in the other way. Okay, so only I'll see those comments tonight. All right, very good, very good. Anyway, we're happy. I hope be happy to hear from Christine tonight. And
like I said, no guarantee. I'd probably even say it's probably about a 5% chance. But
anyway,
a standing invitation has been issued.
Does not change the fact that she is our favorite Canadian, eh?
Oh, so, absolutely.
So anyway, where are we, John?
Well, I'm in Eagan, Minnesota, as I explained when we started the show. You are in Queens, New York, as I also explained.
Mm-hmm. Well, your audio is pretty bad, so it was kind of tough to suss the house. But it is Queens, New York. Okay, that would explain the tall buildings.
Yeah.
That would explain that.
Exactamundo.
It was chilly here last night. We were down in the 50s. I know we don't do weather reports anymore, but gosh darn. Now, back down in South Florida, we referred to that as dead of winter.
Everybody walking around in parkas and got their little hoodies, their little parka hoods going. And
I've gone on about this for years. It used to drive me batty. Now,
there's a short drive.
Yeah, it's not. It's next month. South Florida will get their first bit of dry air since like April, and it'll be actually livable. The temperatures will still be in the mid 80s, but the humidity will drop, and you will feel the difference. And then, not long after that, we'll get they'll get their first cold front, where it'll drop down below 60 at night, basically what we had here last night. That is when you see the people out with the parkas and the scarves and the gloves and people, please. Icebergs are not going to land on the beach. It's not. I understand it's a temperature change and it's a shift from what you're accustomed to. I get it. I loved it. I love that time of year. But man,
iceberg right ahead.
That's right. That's right. You know, believe you me, it's the only place in town, the only place in the country where you can go into Walgreens, not only buy sunblock, but you can buy mittens too. Now, some people just go batty about it. I ran into a neighbor today. I was putting the bike away, and she said to me, "Oh, we were commenting about the weather." She says, "Yeah, I left the house this morning. I had the overcoat on and the and the scarf and all that." She says, "I made it about a half a block and I realized what's wrong with me. I was sweating It was a very pleasant day. It was outdoor air conditioning. I've got the window open now. And I'm in sweatpants only because the breeze was blowing across my legs. And I don't want to be uncomfortable. I'm not chilly. I'm not cold. But I just, and besides, I miss my sweatpants. I haven't worn them.
Yeah, he's having a case of the shrivels here, ladies and gentlemen. That's
that ship sailed a long time ago. Oh no. Oh no, the petrified turtle is on permanent guard duty now.
Okay. You did tell everybody how to get a hold of us here, by the way, did you not?
I sure did.
Okay.
I even gave them the correct phone number.
Well,
that.
Give him the clap, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you very much. Aww.
So, who's going to kvetch first here, you or I?
You go right ahead.
Okay, well, you could tell that there were a bunch of Trumpies that were out and about on Facebook tonight. Now, normally I've been getting some good help lately from different individuals. One in particular, I have to, and I'm trying to remember how to pronounce his name properly. Edward Zabrowski, I believe is how he pronounces his last name. And he's been going toe to toe with Rod quite a bit. Holy Christ on a crutch, man. They were going back and forth. I just sitting back enjoying the show, man. So it was watching that. Then I don't know if you heard it or not, but there was a young man that was killed over on the north side of Minneapolis. Not the greatest neighborhoods. Lots of if there's a murder in Minneapolis, the chances are pretty good that it happened over on the north side, unfortunately. And the sad part about it is that the young man who was killed here, and this was yesterday, the young man who was killed happened to be what's the word I'm looking for? He happened to work, he was an intern for Ilhan Omar's opponent, Republican opponent in that particular district over there. And nobody said anything, but I was just waiting. Waiting for this to happen. I was waiting for somebody to come forward and say, oh, well, geez, Omar must have had him offed, because she's just that crooked. Look, they might not have said it on Facebook, so I said it for them, actually. I said, I'm just waiting for somebody to bring this up.
Oh, wait a second. So nobody said it, but you beat them to the punch.
I beat them to the punch, yeah. That drew the ire of a few.
I'm going to stop you right here. And
why?
You're the asshole.
You damn right I am.
You're the asshole. So you got
damn
nothing.
You damn right
nothing,
I am.
Wherever this story goes, you got nothing to kvetch about. Okay, you brought it up.
Of course I did. I beat him to the punch.
You said what nobody else wanted to say, and whether there are jokes, there are lines you just don't cross. Even I know that. Lord knows I've crossed that line a number of times, and I got the cards and letters to prove it.
I've crossed that line plenty of times. It's my job. It's my job. I say the things other people are thinking but are too afraid to say sometimes.
That's a cop-out, John. That's a cop-out.
No, it's not.
What you're talking about here is something that is grossly insensitive to a young man that just lost his life. Okay? Mm-hmm. And there's nothing funny about it. And
nobody said there was anything funny about it.
And you're not, even if somebody else was thinking it, they had the good sense not to say it.
Well, I did go on to say that the truth of the matter is with this, that this was a tragic event. Either happened one or two ways. Either one or two things went down. Either mistaken identity or he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, whatever the cause of it may be. I mean, I know nothing about the situation, but a young man who loses his life is a tragedy. How old was the young man?
17 years old.
17 years old. That's I mean, it's a crime in more ways than.
Oh, you know it. Absolutely.
But to, I'm sorry. There's, I feel for him. I feel for his family. But now I got this stuck in my head about you being a jerk.
Well,
and I apologize for that. I love you, but I'm sorry. By the way, kids and kittens, this will be the first time in 3.5, almost 4 years that Mom and Dad are having an on-air spat.
And it won't be the last time.
Oh, I don't know about that, but you keep saying. I mean, just inappropriate, John. Inappropriate. Well, just because you frame it as I'm surprised nobody said this. That's you saying it. That's you putting it out there into the universe. That's the backdoor way of getting to it, which means you're still there.
It's funny. All the critics that I had on that, none of them said Oh wow, that was inappropriate. That was you should even the majority of the responses I got were from Trumpers, were from the right.
And you know why none of them said it? Because they're not as smart as I am, and they're not looking out for you like I am.
Well, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably do it again. I apologize for that.
Well, you're doubling down on being an asshole then.
That's right. That's right.
No, I'm serious. They were inappropriate. Totally inappropriate.
Well,
I understand you want to be proud of it and all, but it's not. That deserves an apology. Not to me. Not to me, but I honestly, if I were you, I would get on that face mask site of yours and say, look, I put something out there in the universe that's just not, yeah, you handle it your own way.
I was going to say, why would I do that? That is my true feeling. That is my true feeling.
Well, then you came out as there's no point going into any story about watching other people fight about it because you instigated it.
Oh, there were still plenty of people there that were backhandedly making comments about Omar through this whole situation.
I'm sure there were, but in this particular cockfight, you kicked the door open. You threw the first cock in, if you will. And now I'm having a temper tantrum about you.
That wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, this is serious stuff, though. This is for real stuff. I mean, honestly, pal, I'm very disappointed in you right now. That's just. I mean, it's one thing to say something controversial to spark a discussion or spark an argument, or, or to get under somebody's skin. That's one thing, but to make a comment like that, no matter how you frame it, how you frame the picture doesn't change the picture.
Right. I totally understand that.
So, I mean, I can sit here for another 42 minutes and slap you around, which doesn't sound like the worst idea I've ever had.
Well, keep dreaming.
But seriously, I don't want to hear any more about the story because you stepped out of bounds.
Well, I'm not going to say anything more about the story. I won't say anything more about the story, but I got to tell you something. I am tired, sick and tired of these people, the QAnons out there who just think, who are just, oh my God, this is a conspiracy. That's a conspiracy. Oh, poor Donald Trump. Oh, what has he done wrong? Oh my God, he's the greatest president in the world. You just get tired of it because these people, right away. I had a couple of them in there that said that off topic on this, that said, well, you must think that you think all Trump supporters are racist. Never said. Have I ever said that?
No. You
have you ever said that?
I don't believe I have.
No.
But then
there
again,
are racists that are Trump supporters.
Absolutely. It's not mutually exclusive.
Right.
Not all racists are Trump supporters. Hence, not all Trump supporters are racist.
Right.
Doesn't mean a lot of them.
But it's the same narrative over and over and over again with these people. Oh, you're going to vote Democrat. You must be behind the rioters and behind the looters and everybody that's busting shit up. What's that?
We've talked about this many, many times.
Right, we have.
I think we talked about it last night. Is that the people, especially the maggots, the MAGAs, their opinion is the only opinion that matters. Everything else is met with violence, and they can't accept that others have a different opinion.
Right.
Trumpsters, you're welcome to your opinion. It's what this country is all about.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome to be wrong. but I'm also welcome to my opinion, and I shouldn't have to fear retribution, whether physical, mental, verbal abuse. If you don't like the way I think, then don't talk to me.
There you go. Absolutely.
Walk away. As my favorite radio personality, Neil Rogers used to say, when people would call into his show and complain about how horrible it was, he would say, "Turn the dial, shut it off, don't listen.
Exactly.
You don't want to hear me? Keep going."
You're absolutely right.
Of course I am. We all knew that going in.
754-800 chat, 754-800-2428. You want to join in the conversation. To tell you the truth, that may be the best way, because now we've got so many different feeds out there. We've got Facebook feeds, we YouTube, we still got Periscope, we still have we still have Radio TFI.
Yes, we do. That's our base, baby. Radio TFI at radiotfi.com. Our radio.
That's right.
That's our base, man. We're just a radio show with a video feed. If you're watching us anywhere, that's all.
So, I mean, if you don't want to call, you don't want to have your voice heard, send a text to that same number. Send a text to that same number. We'll get the text. Absolutely.
One of these days, once we get settled in, we'll allow you folks to StreamYard in too and be a video presence.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Can't get them to call on the phone. How the hell are they going to show their mug on StreamYard?
Don't confuse the issue with the facts, please.
Well, there you go.
Please.
There you go.
What else you got?
Well, I'm done kvetching here, at the least for now.
All right.
There are a couple other news stories that I found kind of interesting.
That's good. May I get my bitching in?
Well, go right ahead.
Jeez Louise, it is Temper
No,
Tantrum.
I gave you the option to do it.
Well, I'm trying to go light. I don't want you making up stuff about me.
I don't have to make diddly up about you. There is enough fact. There is enough fact right there on the table.
So I have a list. Buckle in.
Did you check it twice?
Yeah, you can loosen your seatbelt. This flight's going to take a while. All right. You may move freely about the cabin, but this plane ain't landing for a little bit. So let's start with last night's big broadcast. Okay.
Okay.
So my esteemed co-host, that's the guy sitting, well, it depends on where you are. Anyway, it was John Shannon. Let's not play games. John Shannon started telling scatological stories last night. He's talking about people pooping in the street. Well, I just want to know part of that. And then he tells me take off my headphones. Well, here I am thinking he's talking about the same thing. So after we go off the air, I have my headphones off for a couple of minutes. I'm watching him tell his story. I can make out him going plop. And so in our post-show debriefing, such that it is, I said, boy, you really went on with that story for a while. You had a big plot. You had to make a whole big show out of it for a couple of minutes. And I was really, really upset about it because it was just a gross story. It was a gross story. And then he lays this on me. Oh, no, I was done with that story. I was telling a personal story. Ew! I don't even want... I had to go the rest of the night with this. I don't know what the story was, but now, of course, that's all I can think of. Is John Shannon pooping his pants? Apparently didn't poop his pants. It pooped on something. And now I'm just... So I'm still trying to scrub that out. I'm trying to figure out how to get a Brillo pad up in there so I can just kind of... don't you dare start to tell me a story, Judd. I will
I
cut
gotta
you
say
off.
shit.
I will drop you out of this broadcast so fast your head will hurt. So there's that. I got chest pains now, and I go vault. I go vault.
Oh,
So now today we took the Edmobile out. Well, the Ed Cycle, I should say. And we're riding along. We're riding on a marked bicycle path. Marked. I'm in the correct place in the correct lane. And I'm coming down a hill, a little bit of a hill, approaching a massive intersection there in Queens. Who turns the corner? I'm about, I don't know, 150 feet away from this intersection. Who turns the corner but two of New York's finest parking enforcement people? Meter maids, as you used to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, parking enforcement agents here in the city of New York wear exactly police uniforms, but with a white hat. Of course, they're not armed or anything like that. But they do have that sense of, I do what I want when I want. So there's two of them. They're walking at me. There's big steel structures that hold up the train tracks above us. And there's not a lot of room to go on the bike. These two are walking in the bike lane towards me, looking at me. I start hitting the bell, and I'm yelling, "Hey, man!" And they looked at me, and I had to lock up the brakes. I actually put a little rubber on the ground. And then just as I'm about 5 feet from him, he steps off to the side. Says, "What's the deal? What's the problem? I got out of your way." I said, "Are you kidding me? You tempted fate there. You tempted." I just wanted to. I really wanted to run him over, especially since I got a ticket 2 weeks ago that I fully deserved. But be that as it may, I was just rah. I also I got cut off by a car today. The guy just looked at me and turned right in front of me down the street that I was turning onto. He made a left onto the street. I made a right. No, I'm sorry. He came across the avenue. And he's looking at me. I finally caught up to him at the next red light. He says, "Well, I thought you had a stop sign." And no, pal, I was on the main street. You had the stop sign. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. The other one. There's this park I like to go to. So I'm getting ready. I leave the park, and I'm pedaling my way out and motoring my way out. And I'm on the secluded bike path. It's separated. It's its own little thing. Gets you back. It's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. Pedestrian walkway. It's before you get to the entrance to the bridge and all that. Anyway, so I get past that. I get to the next section. Again, it's all segregated. You're away from the traffic. And there's a park employee in one of these little four-wheel vehicles. You've seen them rolling around parks and all that. You know, they pick up trash and all that. So she had made a stupid U-turn to get into the bike path. And now she's taking up all the lanes. So I'm behind her, and I'm just kind of sitting tight. She jams on her brakes. She stops. Okay, I swing left, and then she starts going again. Again, almost hit me. So I back off. We get to the next intersection. First place there was a red light. I pull up to her, and I just look at her, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you." And I pointed to her side view mirror. I said, "You see that? Try the mirrors. They work fantastically." She says, "I didn't see you." I said, "No, you didn't see me because you didn't look. That's why you didn't see me." And then the thing with the car happened, and then John Shannon tonight. So you know what? I'm a little fired up right now. Go ahead, John. What else you got?
I got the world's smallest violin for you, brother. No, people are, when it comes, I don't know when the last time you actually rode a bicycle, but
Today, were you
no,
not
no, no, before you got the Edmobile here, the Ed
yeah,
cycle.
it's like it'd have been a minute.
People are rude.
I know that.
I shouldn't need to tell you. I mean, people are rude, even in areas where bicycling is, I mean, there is all kinds of bike paths, and Jesus Christ, they've taken just about every major street now in the Twin Cities has taken a lane out just specifically for the bicycles. Yet they still ride wherever the hell they feel like riding.
Oh no! Don't misunderstand me. I will get to the idiot bicyclist. You fear not. I'm going to get to them. But two of the stories I just told you happened on segregated, out of the way bike lanes, not in traffic. And I mean literally, one is part of what used to be a sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And marked, these are marked lanes painted on the ground with the special green that they use.
Right.
And the other one is in an old alley that used to be there that they've converted into, well, again, it runs alongside the bridge. And part of it's an alley, but it's strictly for bikes and pedestrians. Plenty of room. There's roads for the traffic. Nobody lost anything. All right. I know what you're talking about, but this is people in these lanes going, eh. Now, I'll grant you, I've already run into my fair share of idiots out there on two wheels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and those stand-up scooters. Holy crap!
Oh
and
man,
I was on my way home today, and I'm going across this one bridge. It's not the big bridge. Goes past the train yard. And this guy comes by on a scooter, and I'm doing 14, 15 miles an hour on my bike. I'm full throttle because it's a bit uphill. I swear this kid comes by. He had to be doing 30 miles an hour easy, which, when you think about it, it's a relatively narrow stretch of road because the way the bridge is structured. There's room for bikes both way, but just barely. And this kid is coming by 30 miles an hour, not giving a flying rat's pahooty. No. Don't miss it. The idea, even before I got the bike, I was cool with the idea of segregated bike lanes and bike paths. And, you go to different countries, Europe, and Amsterdam, and geez, it's a whole culture. People, I think only 40% of the people have cars, something like that. They all use bikes. And they built bike highways and the like. And look, you got to learn to live with each other. But holy crap, people on bikes, you can't run red lights. And they go batty. Oh, well, this one was killed today because he ran a red light. He's doing 40 miles an hour on a bike. Okay? Traffic.
Chances are he's going to lose that fight.
Traffic in Manhattan, most of Queens and all that, you don't get, the speed limit is 25 in New York City. You're lucky to get that high. So I tell people about the bike. Right now, the governor is at 20 miles an hour. I can change it to 28, but I don't see the point. Where am I going? And for the most part, the traffic's not going much faster than me. I try to avoid the big roads when I can, but yeah, you got these delivery people. Oh, and the Uber Eats people. Ay caramba. Holy smokes. And all those Grubhub and Deliveroo and those nitwits on the electric bikes. Not to mention the delivery guys on scooters and blah, blah, blah. And then there's the Tour de France guys. The guys who believe they have to do 100 miles an hour on a $20,000 bike that weighs 6.5 ounces. Tapping out.
754-800 chat 754-800-2428. It's your turn if you want to join in here and share your do your little share of pissing and moaning if you want to do here on the what's better, what we like to call Temper Tantrum Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir. John's new favorite word, kvetch.
oh, you know it. Hey there, Shannon. She just
Well, hey.
my mentor. I've explained to you who this is. My mentor, Richard Tim. It's his daughter.
Yes.
Just gave us a hi guy or hey guy.
Well, and a pleasant good evening to you, Shannon. Got something you want to bitch about? Give us a holler.
Yeah, hey, this is the day for it.
You kvetch, you vent, you bitch, you moan. It's all here for you.
In all due respect, Shannon, I heard you do all of the above, or seen you do all of the above on Facebook.
It doesn't even matter if we know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't care.
This is where you get it off your chest.
Yes. Oh, by the way, as I'm looking at the card here, it's official. We will be the nighttime show will remain as the quarantine edition until such time that it comes to a screeching halt.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Oh, you know what though?
What?
Shannon is a little. Shannon happens to be, if I've got this right, she lives in the North Minneapolis area, if I'm not mistaken. She sends a lot of information.
She can't spell it, apparently.
Hey, come on, give her a break.
Menispalosis? I had that once just under my elbow.
Feel free to reach through and slap him if you want to, Shannon. You have my utmost permission. As a matter of fact, I will give you a great big round of applause if you do. But she says she lives over there, and I think she heard the gunfire over there.
Oh my!
That to which we were talking about it was quite a bit of gunfire actually, which leads me going back to that particular story. There was no police presence there either, huh? That's scary. That's scary. There's no call for that. There is absolutely no call for that. I know right now that the pressure is on the police department in Minneapolis. I get that. But they do still have a job to do.
Yep.
They absolutely have a job to do.
By the way, did you see in the news that Breonna Taylor's family, the city of Louisville, settled with them for $12 million?
$12 million, absolutely.
Doesn't bring her back, but I tuned in just at the end. Somebody, I don't know who the young lady was that was speaking. She was very, very powerful speaker up there with the mayor. I think she was a friend or a relative of Brianna's. And she said she made a very valid point. She said, if you're not going to indict the cops involved in this, they should at least be fired on the spot right now.
Right.
And
well, good for her. Like you said, though, it's not gonna bring her back. But and I hope that she'll do kind of what the Floyd family is doing. The Floyd family has set up a fund. They donated, I believe it was $5,000 to a homeless shelter. It's much more than a homeless shelter in Minneapolis. But it was actually a place where George worked for about a little over a year. So they donated some money there. Let's do some good things with this money that is going to be given. And it's going to be a number of occasions you're going to see now where these cities are going to have to start tapping into their funds there. That's yours and my money that they have to tap into.
Well, I mean, there's things that happen sometimes that are unavoidable. And while a city or municipality may be at fault, It's tragic, and but these things happen. This is not one of those cases. Clearly, uh, whatever. All you need to know is they were at the wrong place. I mean, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to start ripping that down. It's Temper Tantrum Tuesday. If I start on that, they will be carting me out of here in a straitjacket. And I was just fitted for a new one. So,
Well, let me, as long as have you had your kvetching chance now, or have
One
you
more
caught
thing.
your breath? What's that?
One more thing.
Oh, okay.
I went 2-0 on the games last night.
Oh, did you?
Yep, I finished the week 9-7.
That's kind of been your average.
I used to do better, but I'm falling. I've been in a just a nick above 500 range. Years ago, when I first started doing this, about, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, just for my own amusement, there was plenty of weeks. Most years I would have 4 or 5 weeks where I had over, I'd had 10, 12 wins, the 12-4, 13. I've gone 15-1 one time. And usually I finish the season, 550, 580, something like that. I've had a couple of 600 winning percentage, but what can I say?
Well, I'll tell you something. I actually am kind of proud of myself, to tell you the truth. When I was living out in Vegas there and was playing the parlay cards, I was able to, quite frankly, win 4 games, 5 games in a row. Put $10 down, and
the parlay has always kind of confused me.
oh, I could help you through that. That's pretty simple stuff. So.
Isn't it? You pick a bunch of games, and they all have to win.
They all have to hit. Yep.
Okay.
Now there's different types of parlay cards. You can do them against the spread, or
Right.
you could do them just pick the winner. Now, obviously, if you're doing it against the spread, it's more of a payout.
Right, because that's tougher.
Right.
Because you have to cheat doing it, so we know that.
You are such a whiner.
But look how masterfully I brought it back to that.
You are such a whiner. Good Lord.
Post office called. They said your cup is on the way.
Oh yeah, right.
You wanna bitch about that?
Yeah, nah, I already know that's a hopeless cause.
I've got the tracking number.
Okay. So did you see this story in the San Francisco Chronicle today about taxi drivers ready to step in if Uber and Lyft bail?
Oh yes. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be?
Well, I hope that's the case. But, and you and I have talked about this before, just because they're ready to take the reins again, the last thing we want to do, I'm just so afraid of this, man. I'm so afraid of what's going to happen, that you're going to get these rogue drivers that are going to say, you don't like what the rate is, you don't like this, or you don't like that. Go take an Uber again. Go back to Uber. Oh, you can't go back to Uber.
Yeah.
There's no sense in doing this and being all pissy with these passengers just because they left you for what they thought were greener pastures.
All right.
This is where these passengers need to be greeted with open arms. Hey, we missed you. Damn it, we missed you. Welcome back.
The culture has to change.
Very true.
The days of what the cab business was when you and I started in it, those days are gone. This is not a foregone conclusion. When we started back in the late 1880s, There was nothing else. You took a cab or you walked. That was it. And cab companies need to get off their dead butt and treat drivers as the customers they are. I'm not saying look, you got drivers that are just idiots, and companies have to not be afraid to jettison bad drivers. Okay, you got to look. Customer service is a very, very walking on eggshells kind of thing, especially in the cab business. You've got look. Customers will exaggerate stories, so will drivers. But you've got to. While you got to give the drivers a little bit of breathing room so they can do their thing. You've got to look. Cameras have to be in every cab, no matter. I don't care how big or small your company is. So that
totally, they're not that expensive these days.
No, so that there's documentation on every incident that occurs in the cab. There is no privacy issue there. This is a public conveyance. There is no privacy issue.
It's for your own damn protection.
Well, beyond that, when we first got our cameras years ago, there were plenty of guys. I don't want that camera running. I got, privacy. My customers demand privacy. Well, then they need to take a limo. And I had customers. You can't turn that camera on. I don't turn it on. It comes on as soon as I turn on there's ways it comes on. In our case, it only came on in case of a wacky U-turn or slamming the brakes or, it looks like it's running. I don't believe you. Okay, don't believe me. The camera's not going anywhere. But the whole culture has to change as far as attitude. Look, I'll be the first to admit I was one of those guys. Once I got a few years under my belt, you know what? We our poop don't stink. Our poop don't stink because we're the biggest company in town and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, we were. And then we got our ass handed to us in the 90s with the recession. But
just replying to Shannon here real quick. Your dad had cameras in his car before it was a cool thing to do. I remember. Holy Christ! The first time I saw a camera in his car was easily 10 to 15 years ago. I think I remember seeing a camera in his car.
But like I was saying, it's more about the culture. It's more about how companies treat their drivers, how drivers treat their customers. And let's face it, how customers treat the drivers and the companies. It's a triangle there. I mean, look, I had loads of wonderful customers over the years. I had a big book full of regular customers that kept me going for many, many, many years. I was sorry to have to give all that up. And drivers have to understand they are operating a business. Okay? Not every customer is going to be $100 ride with a $200 tip. You better get that out your head right now. Okay, you earn your living with $7 and $8 jobs. That's where you work, $7, $8 jobs. All right, you'll get your 15s, your 20s, but I always held if I can nail a couple of $20 jobs every shift, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. But companies again have to realize. You can't be afraid to get rid of a bad driver if he's a good payer. There was a guy that we had. It's a long, convoluted story. I had the opportunity to get this guy out of the business completely. Me and my old partner, and we didn't. We took him on. Man, why? Because he paid. He paid no matter what. He paid. There was never an excuse. That was his one shining thing. That was his only positive. He was trouble up, down, and sideways. And should have gotten rid of him. You can't let the fact that somebody is a good payer, let that be the only reason. I did it with plenty of guys over the years. I kept them because they paid. And wound up with a heart attack for it. Well, the 40 years of smoking didn't help either, but
I understand that.
But you're right. As far as okay, we'll be there to pick up the slack when Uber and Lyft go under. Yeah, well, you're gonna have to be, and don't sit there like you're entitled to it because guess what? As you've learned in the past 10 years, customers are very fickle. They'll believe anything that you tell them, especially if they have a bad cab ride. They will go with whoever else is holding out open a door for them. I watched it. I watched it in Fort Lauderdale. Illegal cabs, just companies being set up, knowing full well they didn't have the licenses to work in Fort Lauderdale. Yet that's where all their business was. Why? Because my company, the biggest company, kept dropping the ball. Hell, when I had my own company, I was there was a particular area that we were focusing on because we knew they were dropping the ball there. People were waiting hours for cabs. And it wasn't out of the way. But, of course, I couldn't get any of my drivers to work there. So it was a story for another time. But, yeah, you're right. Cab companies will be there. But everybody, it's not – things have changed. You're now on the other side of the Grand Canyon where things are completely different. You started out on one side. You hit the bottom of the canyon. Now you're coming back up, and it's a completely different side, and you got to treat it that way.
Exactly.
Tapping out.
Yep. So another industry-related thing here, real quick. Did you see the note here from Market Watch that
I saw something? I didn't read it.
$70 million in New York City taxi cab debt has been forgiven.
Yes.
So now I don't know if that's the whole. Okay, 70 million of the $215 million debt attached to 483 medallions.
Right.
So good for them. Good for them. It'd be nice if it was all forgiven, but
I haven't read the story yet. I haven't gotten into the details of it, but that story actually came out a couple of days ago.
Right.
And the New York City Taxi News, not Mike, but the website put that out. I follow them on the Twitter as well.
Written by a Paul Berger here at marketwatch.com.
Right.
So maybe we'll give this a little bit more, give this a more of a looky-see here on Saturday.
Right.
Maybe we tear that apart a little bit.
We will be diving deeper on Saturday about that. I thought tonight would be more pissing and moaning.
Well, you did your fair share.
I tried. Well, it's all for the YouTube people because we want to be YouTube stars. Here we are, YouTube. Here we are. Take us.
Sexiest old men there in the lower 48, boys.
Don't mind him. Don't mind him.
Hey, I can speak for myself.
Not if I shut you off, you can't.
I'm a sexy old bald guy. Shaletta even told me so.
I'll bet she did. You sexy. You just a sexy.
Oh.
I tell my boyfriend Carlito, I say he's a sexy man. He's a sexy man.
You know what I like about her? About Shaletta?
No.
I gotta tell you, the woman is busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
Oh, there he goes.
And I gotta tell you, she never, if somebody replies to one of her tweets or whatnot, she'll always, tweets too, because she's on Facebook and on Twitter. She will respond. If somebody responds to her, she'll respond back or give it a like, give a little 1-line or 2-line response or what have you. Here's a little kvetching for you. I hate people who have one-way social media accounts. Now, I understand they cannot answer, your celebrities who are on the social media. They can't answer every single person all the time. But you know what? Pick out a couple. Pick out a couple good comments and give it a little love. Give it a little, give it a little, a like on Twitter, or a, if it was funny, give them a ha ha on Facebook.
You don't know that people don't do that.
Well, I follow quite a few, especially local celebrities.
Well, maybe they don't think you're funny, John. I certainly
They don't respond. They don't respond to anybody yet.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that they're not responding privately.
Well, that's possible, but
that's right.
The only ones they respond to are maybe other celebrities.
I know that's the situation I'm in. I only respond to other celebrities.
How many followers you got again on Twitter?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
How many followers you got?
Can't hear a thing.
I got more damn tweets than Donald Trump there, remember?
I don't know what to say to that. Well, there's a lot I could say, but I'm not going to drag myself down into that pit. Hi, YouTube. How are we doing?
Hey, we'll be back again doing this tomorrow on YouTube. Because we didn't violate it. We didn't violate any of their policies. I waited till the music was all but a whisper to turn them on onto the stream.
We don't know that. No, you did not. No,
didn't I?
No.
Oh well. Sue me.
We're here, YouTube. Love us. Please love us. We need the love.
Exactly.
We want to be viral stars. I don't know how we're going to do that with this static screen, and that's okay.
It happens every once in a while. Jesus.
One of these days, I'll figure out how to put motion in this and all that good stuff, and we'll.
We're doing motion. See, we're doing motion.
Well, yeah, kind of. We're doing the motions that they do at the old folks' home. We're doing yoga. Look at us. We're dancing, sitting down, moving our arms. We're knitting. Downward dog. Thank goodness.
I tell you, I remember back then in 1957.
And WWII. It was the big one.
57 sounds a lot more like end of Korea into Vietnam, tell you the truth.
57. Jeez.
57.
Oh.
You were alive for 57.
No, I was not.
All right, well, YouTube and Facebook, we're going to say goodbye here. So we'll do that, and the hell with it. We're not going to do that. We'll stay right through and see what they say. So anyways, for Mr. Ed Van Ness, I'm John Shannon, and I got the money.
See ya!
Yes, dear. Yes, I'm listening. Oh, I heard every word you said, honey. Yes. Yes, dear.